Welcome to the Bagchucker Podcast, where we break down life on the road in the NHL.
We're your hosts, Chris Mason and Hal Gill, a.k.a. Mace and Skillsy, former NHL players, current broadcasters for the Nashville Predators, lifelong Bagchuckers, dads, brothers, and sons. We've seen it all from the bus rides to the big leagues.
Each week, we'll dive into what's going on around the league. We'll give you travel tips, places to go, things to do, and stories from years of living out of a suitcase.
What do you say, Mace? Lobby in 10.
Just chuck your bags and let's go. The first ever episode of the Bagchucker Podcast. It's been a long time coming, believe me. It's been in the works for years. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Mason. And my other host, the godfather of Bagchuck, is joining me now. Hal Gill, a.k.a. Skillsy. Skillsy, episode 1. How excited are you? We've been talking about this for a lot of years. What are you feeling, bud?
You know what? Let's get all the nonsense that we talk about on the road and when we travel and when we're around the rinks, going to restaurants and bars. It's constant. Just you and I going at it and hashing out all of life's mysteries. So let's get a camera and a mic.
We'll put it together. We're trying to figure it out as we go, right? Dads, broadcasters, ex-professional hockey players, all the above. And we got a good crew who you guys will meet as well. Lindsay, Willie, Max, Pete. We got a bunch of people. Bob Cole, not the Canadian one, but our boss. So we got everybody. But Skillsy, give me a background. Obviously, Preds fans. We're broadcasters for the Nashville Predators. They will most likely know who we are, who knows, but for the people that don't and just tuning in, give me your background, Skills. You played a lot of years. You got a lot of miles on your Bagchucker.
Hi, my name is Hal Gill, and I am a former NHL athlete. I played, let's go through it. I played, I grew up in Massachusetts and went to Providence College, played 17 years. Gary Bettman will tell you that I played 16, but that year was still in my life when the lockout happened. So I always say it's 17 years. Then I retired and got back into broadcasting. So excited to be with the Preds and with you, big boy. And you, how about you? A newly American, now an American Canadian.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Let's take us through
your
timeline.
Thank you very much. I just got my citizenship. I appreciate that. But also, Hal Gill, Stanley Cup champion, 2009 Pittsburgh Penguins. He's won the cup.
Did I forget to say that?
No. Well, you got the ring. You got all the stuff. You don't when you win it, you don't need to say it. But I just thought I'd mention that because that's something I wish every hockey player wishes they could do. But no, Chris Mason, Red Deer, Alberta. Lucky enough to play in the NHL for 12 seasons. Played in Europe for 3 seasons, and I played in the minors for 6 seasons. Dream come true. And I've done broadcasting. This is a crazy thing, Skills. I'm almost done broadcasting for half the time I played in the NHL, or more than half the time, and then half the time I played pro hockey. So I think we're in the phase where we're not NHL players anymore. We're broadcasters, which is hard to swallow a little bit, but I love it. We got a great crew. Fortunate, blessed to have the career I did playing hockey. 3 kids. Live in Franklin, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. Love what I do. And we'll fill you in on all the details too. Family stuff.
Yeah, we both got 3 kids and we're both in one. We're both trying to figure that out. We don't have the answers, but we got a lot of thoughts going through our head on how to do it. So we'll talk about that a lot. But I will say, Mace, not to pump your tires too much, but you're one of the best teammates ever. That's something to be said for that. And if you look through, I'm sure, if you want to go through your career and what you did, if you can have someone say you're a great teammate, that's all that really matters, right?
I mean, especially when you get to the point where we kind of get to look back and reflect on the playing days. And I think that's one of the most important things. You feel privileged to have had the opportunity and the privilege to play in the National Hockey League, which is sometimes I still go to rinks and I can't believe that I actually did that for as long as I did. I'm like, how the heck did I ever do that? It's not. It's crazy,
it's ridiculous.
Right? What a league.
What a league.
What a life.
What a life. I can't believe I got to play in that.
And now we're broadcasters for the media. We're media, buddy. And now we're doing a podcast, which is awesome.
I know. Now we just get to talk
let's get
about
into
it.
Like Bagchucker, because this is kind of just an anomaly. It was a crazy thing that happened. We did a video. We'll get into that a bit later. We'll break down the video. But for somebody that's first listening, they're probably thinking, what the hell is a bag chucker? So, Skillsy, tell me exactly what a bag chucker is, because I knew what it was, but I didn't know there was a term for it. And you introduced me to the term. So please explain to the people what a bag chucker is.
What I think you have the official definition of a bag chucker?
We did, but I made that up after I found out the term, because we talked about it, right?
Your regular Webster's
I'm
dictionary
gonna pull it up
over
here.
there.
This is bag
Christopher
chucker,
Webster.
and it's a noun, apparently. When we put it in the formulation, the AI formulation, they tell us everything. So it is a person who saves valuable seconds by chucking bags in room upon arrival to hotel for most efficient turnaround to go for beers.
And I love that when you coined that definition. It's perfect. But yeah, hey, you know what? I learned that. It was my first road trip to Buffalo. I was playing 1997 with the Boston Bruins, and we went to Buffalo, and the boys said, "Hey, we're going for across the street." And I got there. It took me 15 minutes. I got to the room and put my stuff out, like kind of organized my life a little bit, and 15 minutes, I was the last one there. I was the whole team was there. There was a bunch of wings, there was beers, and it was 4:30, I think, and I was the last one there. And so I learned right from the get-go that you don't be the last one there. You got to chuck your bag. And literally, when they say, "Hey, let's go chuck your bags," it means open the door, throw them in there. You'll deal with it later, but let's go. We got to get busy. And so that's where bag chucking came in. And as you said, it really wasn't a term until we decided it was.
Yeah, exactly. And tell me, it's amazing.
Bag chucking.
And I'm sure we've had some teammates that have been amazing bag chuckers. I've had a couple, Mike Sillinger. We'll get in. We'll break down like their style and like how they did it.
We got to do that. That's one of the ultimate bag chuckers. The top
if we can get there. But I got a couple guys that I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, how do you do what you do and do it so well and still like play unbelievable? But it's an art. It's evolved over the years, I'll tell you that. But it was so funny. But who came up with the term? I think it was I came to you one time because I heard an interview, and it was Jeff O'Neill, the O-Dog, who's an ultimate bag chucker in his day. But tell me about him, and then tell me about how the term actually came to. And then we decided to do the video, and we'll get into that later. But tell me about the O-Dog a little bit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Jeff O'Neill, great teammate, great guy. But he was doing media, and he had an interview with me, and he said, "Hey, were you the last bag chucker in the NHL after I retired?" And I said, "You know what? I didn't really think of that. Like there's a lot of guys now, the younger guys, they get their protein shakes. They don't really go out for it and get out. I think there's a lot of video games, and some guys stay in and hang out in their hotel room. So, I was a guy that wanted beers in the locker room, beers in my stall, and I wanted to enjoy it. If we got to win, I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to get out there and win and go have a couple pops. And so, O-Dog knew that about me. And so we were talking about it. Then you came up to me and said, "Did he call you a bag chucker?" And so that was kind of funny. Then we get to Montreal that night, right? I think we were in Toronto. We went to Montreal that night, and we had about an hour before last call. And we turned around and chucked the bags, and you got some good video of it. And we rolled that. And, I think people just think it's funny because it was what we did all the time. But when you see it on video, it's actually pretty funny. So, that your little video went viral there, Mace. And
well, it's hilarious. And I think back to that because that's really how it, came about. We're like, you actually said, you're like, "Hey, let's get a video of me chucking my bag in the room and then turn around." It was like, I don't know, it was like 11 seconds. It was like nothing. The quality was terrible. We're just starting the podcast. I'm going to try to roll it while we do this. So hopefully if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see the video. It's in the intro. It's in the video intro. We'll put it out on social media and all that stuff. But it's like the worst quality. It was whatever, late at night in a hotel in Montreal. And Willie Donick, who's my partner on the broadcast, one of the best guys around too, he didn't know what the hell was going on. He's like looking, he's like, what the hell are you guys doing? Because at that point we were like just starting out, and I don't think anybody knew what to think of us.
No clue.
They had no
no
clue. I
idea
think,
what was going
obviously
on.
they work with other players, but I don't think they'd work with like two that were kind of like us. And anyway, so his look, it's in the video as well.
That were special like us.
He didn't know what was going on. He kind of looked
Mace.
a little bit like a hobo as well. He had the two jacket.
Well, hey, there's some people that aren't bag chuckers. They get in late at night. They just want to crawl
He is
in
now,
the
though.
sheets
He
and
will
go
be
to bed.
now once in a while.
We're not, no, I'm not saying he's one of them, but he
didn't know. And that's just like the first time
he unleashed the
that you
beast
did
in
it.
Willie
15
Donick.
minutes, you thought, holy shit, I might be one of the first guys there. And all of a sudden, nope, you're the last guy there. It's a different world. But
Nope.
So we did that video, and it just went, and that's when we're both trying to really, be more active on social media. Hey, we're, broadcasting and doing this. I never had social media till I was a broadcaster. And so I was like, oh, I always wanted to just do fun stuff. Like, let's just be fun, whatever, right? Try to show some personality, which I think hockey needs more. They're getting, they're going in a good direction, I think, with all the other podcasts and the media stuff they're doing with the players. You just want to see these guys. So we did that, and it was a little 11-second video, and it went freaking like viral. I checked today. I sent it to you today, and there's like 300 and some odd thousand views of this thing. And that was, I can't remember. It might have been 2018 or something. That's 6-7 years ago, whenever it was. Anyway, it just went off. So we're like, okay, we got something here. And it's not just hockey players. Like anybody that travels can relate to that, right?
Yeah. Just shows you that people really appreciate just good art
just
form.
Great. Well, plus the efficiency. I mean, that was the other part of the tweet was you led the league in second save 10 out of your 16 years and 5 consecutive years in the last years of your career.
Yeah.
It was just great.
Yeah, and that and holding penalties, but that was I'm good at something.
That was awesome though.
I'm good at something. But Mace, we do need to dive into, because we've changed. I mean, like let's face it, I'm knocking on 50's door. You're younger than me, but we're but we're getting there, right? And so it's kind of funny how it's changed. It's like, hey, is there a good coffee shop when we get in town? Hey, it's like, what's the gym like at the hotel? What's the is there a good restaurant? Like, let's go find something. Like I feel like I'm a big fan of walking around a city, and so that's I think it used to be just go crash and grab beers, and now it's kind of bag chucking has become a new entity, and it's like, get out there and
I love
take
that.
it all in.
Yeah. I love that because I mean, we know a lot of guys too who, obviously have battled alcoholism and people, don't drink, and that's not, it started out that we thought it was fun and cool, and it was fun. It was a great time, but you're thinking about, that's actually not the point of it. And the point to what you're saying is go out and, we had people send us videos. Once that started taking off, we did a couple more of kids going to like, a hockey tournament, chucking their bags. I think Talon did one. He did an awesome one too. Pool and 10.
Oh yeah.
That's the other one. The lobby and 10. It's the old saying. It's all right. Lobby and 10. We're going to go for beers or whatever, coffee. And it's kind of evolved just, so other people, that just go experience life. It's about experiencing life. It's about doing fun things. It's about getting out and being around, good people. How many great people have we met, no matter what it is, at a coffee shop and making, the barista's day, trying to be extra nice, and they give you a good cup of coffee, and it's just a great experience. Or going down, saddling up at a bar, getting we like that, what do you call it? The corner spot at the bar when we go to, that's like the, optimal position. Yeah.
There's another episode. We have to dive into that, because
that's a whole lot of breakdown, like everything
I'm particular about
where my stuff we do.
Where is my bar spot?
Exactly.
Where do I saddle up?
It's important.
That's important. But you talked about youth sports. Hey, let's not kid ourselves. Kids don't care about like whether they won the game on a tournament. They care about like how fast can they get to the pool at the hotel? How fast can they play mini sticks in the hall? How fast can they turn around and go be with their buddies and hang out. And that's the memories that they're looking for. Little bag chuckers. That's what they are. And they learn at a young age. And so, we have a lot of youth sports stories.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the important thing because, the older you get, as you mentioned, we're getting up there and I'm chasing, I'm 1 year behind you, but you think about those things more. You're thinking about trying to stay active, stay social. That's just as important as the physical activity, but trying to do it all. And I think being a bag chucker is a good way to do it, especially if you travel. But just in general, even if you're a homebody, get out, go chuck your bag in your own door and get out and do stuff. It's good for you. But we'll get into all the stuff that we do on the road. This is more of an introduction to kind of what we're going to be talking about. Obviously, a lot of what we do is hockey. We're analysts now for the Nashville Predators. One of the things that we've had the luxury, I think, to do is to keep traveling and keep our lifestyle. I think we played with a lot of guys that haven't been able to do that, and it's a big transition. But tell me about your transition from player to hockey or to broadcaster quickly, if you could, because just to let the people know.
Well, Mace, did you ever have dreams of being? I know you always did. So in Nashville, the backup goalie, if you weren't playing, they'd throw a headset on you and they do a little interview. And I remember Mace standing behind me talking, or Pekka standing behind doing an interview, talking while the play is going on. Other than that, did you have any dreams of being a broadcaster?
No, because I didn't. And our boss now, Bob Cole, Bab, as we call him. Come on, Bab. He actually, when he did that, Nashville was the first team to do it. They it was a southern market at that point, and he's like, "Hey, Mace," he's like, "Hey, would you mind if I put a headset and you could talk to us?" Pete and Terry, the legendary broadcasting duo, the OGs of the Nashville Predators. And they're like, "Hey, in the third period, if the game's going okay, we'll put you on a headset and talk to those guys and then ask you questions." I'm like, "Sure." I'm like, "That's awesome." I'm like, "Great." And, feel part of the game. And I loved it. And so I did it a few times. And he's like, "Hey, if you ever move back here after you retire, keep the broadcast. We'd love to try out." And at that time, I'm thinking like, "Oh yeah, right. I'm going to be playing forever." Yeah,
Mace, you did pretty
good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Good job.
So sure enough,
it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah. But when I was going through retirement and the NHL was kicking my butt out the door, and I was reluctant. Wow. I didn't want to do anything. I always laugh when I hear guys like, "Well, it wasn't in me anymore." What do you mean it's not in you? I would have played forever. Yeah. Put me out there with one hip. I'll give everything I got. But I was done and I moved on. I did some coaching and then we looked at moving back to Nashville and that basically, I guess when you have a wife and 3 kids at home, it kind of dictates, your lifestyle. If you're not going to go make millions of dollars playing hockey, then, you better stick around. And so, that conversation came up and my family was like, "That would be awesome if you got back into the game and got back traveling." And we looked at the Preds and got into work with you, but on the radio side. And I think that's, getting back into that lifestyle where you're on the road around a team with the guys, checking into hotels, going to morning skates, being around the game. I think that's something that hey, I'm not a businessman. I'm just, it's not in me. I'm a hockey guy and I'm a sport guy and I want to be around the game and I want to be around the people.
I agree 100%. And I felt like, honestly, because I started out radio, we'll maybe go into our whole situation later about how it all happened, but I didn't know. You were calling me, you said, "Hey, how is it? Blah, blah, blah." And you're asking me a bunch of questions. We'll also talk about your interview that you had, which sealed the deal when you went to Martin. We'll get Pat Martin on it. We'll get his take on it. Maybe we'll get Bob Cole, our boss, on there too, and we'll get everybody in there. Yeah,
the whole hog thing.
But I thought the weird thing was for me is like, I felt like, what's it called? Imposter syndrome, where you think I'm doing the broadcast. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. Plus, I'm around guys that like I played with, my old, teammates, Shea Weber and whoever was, Yost and all those guys were still there. Ryan, all these guys were still there. and I'm doing the broadcast, and it felt like, I don't know, it was just a weird feeling. So I felt like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm probably not good. I'm trying to ask a million questions. I actually called a bunch of guys, Darren Pang, Kelly Chase, Tyson Nash, Jody Shelley, a bunch of guys that I knew at least that were doing the same thing. And I'm like, man, I was so nervous. I was almost more nervous to do that, especially to go on TV than I was even playing, because at least when you play, like you think you kind of know what you're doing. But when you're doing broadcasting, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. I tried to watch as many people, but as I went on, I developed a passion because I was around Pete Weber. He's a lifer, a diehard, and you know him better than anybody, right? Willie
Legend.
Donick. Yeah,
He's a GDL,
exactly, right?
Goddamn legend.
But and then Willie Donick, like the passion, just like Crispy, Terry Crisp, Stanley Cup winning player, coach, and broadcaster, basically like just a legend, another legend, and how they do it. And then eventually, I'm like, man, I love this. I love, and then we started working together, and then it changed, but it was definitely a weird and tough and awesome transition. Does that make sense? Did you go through that same kind of scenario?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I was an imposter in the NHL.
Yeah, don't even start with that.
My whole career.
How about me?
Like just every night was another chance for me to slow down the fastest game on the planet, And so I always felt that, and I felt like I guess with broadcasting, I hated it. And then as soon as I knew I hated it, I was okay with it. Like I don't, because I hate it, I don't care. And then as soon as I didn't care, I liked it. And so here we are. I love it now. I have a great time. We have a great team. We have a great crew, and that's all that really matters to me. You know what? When you're not doing something, you miss teammates. You miss being around people. You miss people that you need to count on to get your stuff done. And so we have a great crew with with Willie and Lindsay, Kara, Max. We just got everyone, Pete and Crispy, and then the team behind the scenes. I think that's what really matters. And so as long as I have a good team around me,
exactly. You missed the boys, right? The boys, but now the boys is half of them are girls or women, I should say, with Kara, Lindsay, and everybody else that we the team that travels, and the Preds organization's been great to us, and they've embraced most of our stuff, our shenanigans. And there's been a lot of them, but no, they've been great. They've been great, but it's a different world. But I'll tell you what, it's a lot of it's like so refreshing. Now we just get to do stupid shit. We get to make these videos, and some work and some are just plain out stupid or whatever. But it's fun. It's like a different kind of pressure. But it's the more that I do it, obviously now we're broadcasters, and now podcasters. This is our first one, so again, I'm feeling the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Again for this, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Exactly.
Fake it till we make it, bud. Well, let's talk about it, because we are Preds broadcast. Like, can we get into talk about exciting seasons? First of all, let's talk about the summer. I know you have an award for a certain general manager in the National Hockey League.
I think one of the things that we're going to do on the pod is we're going to do like everybody. We're going to get lists. We're going to do all the things. We're going to give awards, the Bagchucker of the week or whatever it is, the Pigeon of the week. We're going to come up with what's going on in our lives and our travels, and we're going to give awards. So the first one, I think, the Bagchucker of the summer. That's perfect, Skillsy. Maybe we'll have to buy all our bobbleheads, our remaining bobbleheads. I can't believe they didn't sell out on the first day, by the way. But the conjoined, I got to get one for the desk or put it up here. That's a necessity.
If you don't have a bobblehead, the team store does have a couple
like
left to go like hotcakes.
Use
get Mace and Skillsy Bagchucker.
It's actually unbelievable, but so our first episode, I think we have to give it to. We talked about this before. So the Bagchucker of the summer, and it was the team that everybody talked about what they did, especially after last season with the Nashville Predators. Barry Trotz is the Bagchucker this summer. Traded away. First of all, I want to make a point. Traded away Ryan McDonough. He loved it here, but he wanted to go back. He thought the best thing for his family was to go back to Tampa. Barry Trotz, what does he do? He gets on, he had the year-end meetings. He gets on the phone with the Tampa Bay Lightning and says, hey, he's like, Dunny wants to come back. Old Dunsey wants to come back to Tampa. His family, they've got friends and schooling and all this stuff. And he made it work. I mean, that's what Barry Trotz's legacy will be, was how he treats people, players as people, as family members. And that is rare. And you know that. I mean, we've had a lot of great people that we've met. I owe everything to the game, to the people and everything that I've met in this game. But Barry Trotz, in that regard, is next level. And for him to do that, that was amazing. And now you can tell me about what he actually did in free agency and how he changed a great season and put the Preds back on the map as contenders.
Well, since he's, and working with David Poile, since he's taken over, it's been like, okay, how is he going to do this? Because he blew up the team. He got a bunch of draft picks and the team still performed, right? Just missed the playoffs. Then a year later, he pushes all the right buttons, gets everything. He gets a ton of draft capital. And then you're saying, okay, he's going to squash this team down until it's ready to pop. And then he comes out this summer swinging.
Big time.
And you go after Stamkos, Marchessault, and Brady Shea. You got Shea. He absolutely crushed it. And I think the fun part about it is he's fearless. I don't think he cares. If he feels right about something, he gets all the intelligence. He gets all the reports. He's got a great team around him, and I know he talks to him at length about everything that he does. But I think he's just fearless. And now, I'm excited. I was up in Maine, and I'm looking around, going, I have to refresh this feed a couple times. What happened? July 1st came around, and Barry Trotz put him on the table. He put it right out there, and this is a team that's going to be compete. Now, let's see how it goes. There's a lot of work to be done, and the team's got to come together. But I'm excited about this season. It's going to be fun, and Barry Trotz, absolutely the Bagchucker of the summer. He's going after it. He is not sitting in his room waiting for it. He is out there making it happen.
He did, exactly. Good for him. But the shocking thing is because I had heard, we don't get any inside information. We get maybe a little baby bit if we're not going to be able to show something on the broadcast and all that kind of stuff. But we don't get any insiders. So when they're trying to sign people, we're listening to, Elliot Friedman and all the rumor mills. Those guys know everything.
I don't believe you, Mace. I think they tell you stuff.
No way.
Tell you not to tell me.
I wish. No chance.
I think so.
I'm just
don't tell that big dummy.
We're in the same bracket where they don't tell us nothing, man. 100%. But, so
everything, and it's just don't tell Skillsy.
All right, Mace, we'll tell you. Just don't tell Skillsy, whatever you do. All right, I couldn't do that anyway. I have to tell you everything.
Don't tell your dumb friend.
But the thing, so we all thought, okay, well, they're going to try to sign Stamkos, and if they don't get Stamkos, they're going to go after Marchessault. So that's what we're thinking. Boom, Stamkos, Brady Shea. Then all of a sudden, whatever it was, 15 minutes, an hour later, Jonathan Marchessault. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is unbelievable. I'm like, they're going for signed UC Saros. That's the other thing we got to talk about. That was part of the Bagchucker this summer, was getting that deal done. One of the best goaltenders of the National Hockey League, top 3, 5, 1, whatever you want to do at any given season. It could be a different number, but you have one of the best, and he gets him locked up at 7.5 for 8 years. Are you kidding me? Look at what's happening in New York right now. Boston, Swayman's trying to whatever.
Yeah, Swayman might be in. He's
but he's only got. I mean, we'll talk about that. The mindset of a player. I mean, how many chances do you get to do? Be in that position? He's played unbelievable, but he's entering a different category. Could be in the sole number one now without what's his name, Olmark, who's in Ottawa now. They both want to be starters, and they both played well enough to deserve that honor and opportunity. And then what about Shesterkin in New York? He wants like 10, 11 million. The cap's going up, and so it's the percentage of the cap. Maybe 8 million 2 years ago now is equal to 10 million with the cap going up. But you're going to handcuff your team a little bit. So the fact that Trotzy was able to get Saros, and that says a lot about Juice too, because he could have went and done that free agent and said, you know what, I'll play this year out, and then I'll go and and it's whoever the highest bidder is, I'm going to sign.
Yeah, he likes it here. He wants to be here.
Exactly.
He's happy here. He likes the team. And hey, they did some big things in the offseason, so hopefully he's got a good team. Everyone wants a chance to win.
Yeah,
so I think
everyone's happy. And like you said, it don't matter what you do in the summer. It's all good. It looks good on paper, but that's all you can do at this point. You haven't played any games. You got some preseason games, and who knows? Even the first half of the season doesn't really, tell you what your team is going to be. But anyway, on paper, I think you could put them up against anybody in the West. Who's going to be the West? I think Edmonton. They got something to prove again. I think Vegas will hang in there. Who knows if they'll go down a little bit?
Just the Central.
Colorado.
We're going to look at Dallas opening night. Yeah. We got to get into the schedule, Mace. I mean, it's coming. But you got Dallas and Colorado, of course, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's don't forget Vancouver.
Yeah.
Took that one on the chin last season, so there's going to be
Watch Thatcher Demko. So he's got a weird injury, and they signed Kevin Lankinen, which is a good signing for them to protect themselves for Thatcher Demko. He's got I guess an injury no one's ever had before in hockey, some muscular thing. He's back on the ice now, but it's some mysterious thing going on right now. But
it's always something going on.
And we're going to cover it. We're going to cover it. We're going to cover dad stuff. We're going to cover all this stuff. But all right, Skillsy, let's, for the final thing here, let's go in the regular season. The Bagchuckers got let's pick some games or some road cities that we're really excited about. I'm trying to pull this up on the computer right now.
Well, I want to go through October. Yeah. Let's look at the start.
We're going hockey wise or Bagchucker wise?
Let's look at the beginning.
What are we going to do?
It's both. I mean, it's all together. That's the beauty of it.
You're not wrong.
That's the beauty of it. Right? I mean, how funny is it? Our whole broadcast crew, like, as soon as the schedule comes out, did you see we have 2 days in Vancouver?
Who's the one, though? It's Lindsay. Lindsay is the one. And we're going to have Lindsay on a lot this year. She's going to be she'll be like a third host. She'll be on a lot, and she's a hoot. If you're Preds fans,
she's got a pulse on
absolutely everything.
On travel.
Restaurant review. She's the one. She's like kind of the itinerary planner a lot, right? Like she's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, she'll bird dog a good restaurant.
I'll get you started on the games.
But we always look at that. We always look at the schedule and say, this is a highlight. This is a big spot. We got screwed. We didn't have any time here, or we're not playing here. So
the day it comes out, and then first of all, I don't know if you're like this kind of guy, but during the season, I don't even know where I'm going in 2 days. Like, I don't know. We're going on a 10-day road trip. Oh shit, I better pack. I'm like, you don't even know what day it is half the time.
Do I need a bathing suit or do I need a fur coat? What are we doing here?
All right, let's start.
But I'm going hockey wise the whole month. Okay. Let's talk about October. First of all, opening night.
Yep.
October 12th?
10th.
10th.
10th is the
October
new 12th,
10th.
Actually.
The division battle, it's going to be a huge test, right? I mean, we're getting right into it.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, that's who Dallas,
right?
Colorado, and Nashville are the 3 teams in the Central that I think have the best chance to win it. So, yeah, it's going to be massive.
So, the big test to start it off. Then off to Detroit. First of all, Patty Kane, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But, I'm more looking at this is my mindset, right? I'm excited about Dallas. Detroit's going to be a great game. It'll be fun, but it's our first road trip, right? We're first time out there in the wild. And so I know you're excited about this, but our lunch
maybe one
spot,
of the best that we secretly.
Do you remember the name?
Bucharest.
Do you remember?
Bucharest
Grill. That's right. Right next to Little Caesars Arena.
One of the best, and how do we've got next time we go there, which will be October 11th. No, we'll be there. We'll go to lunch on the 12th, which will be a Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll take pictures of the amount of food you get. We always order, like we leave it. I feel bad actually, because Remember I was on the meat thing or like 2 things of meat. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't even eat one of these, whatever I just ordered.
I thought you were gonna collapse in the meat sweats just watching you. Just a heaping bowl of chicken and a heaping bowl of shawarma or whatever.
God.
Like and like I always get a gyro there. That's
and then we get sides.
massive.
Willie gets like waffle fries. They have all the other stuff. Grape. What are the grape? Stuffed grape. Oh my God, it's unbelievable, and it's cheap.
Just an
It's cheap,
absolute
and it's on the way.
bag.
We walked back. We saw it one time because we're walking back from the arena. First of all, we couldn't even get into Little Caesars Arena. We had to walk around that thing about 2 or 3 times. Remember the security? Then we went back again, and we're like, where the heck do we go here?
Struggle.
We didn't even know, and then we're like, okay, we had to ask somebody, and they directed us to the entrance to go to because we're media. We don't get in. We don't take the bus over. If we walk, right?
Yeah.
But then we're walking back to the hotel after skate, and then we came across this place. We're like, oh my God, this is like amazing. It was the best. So every time we go there. So I'm really looking for it. It's not a great place, Detroit. The night before.
There's also I don't know. I'm excited every time I go to Detroit. I'm excited to see if it's turned around. It took a nosedive a while ago, and they're trying to build it back up. They built up the arenas and the stadiums and try to build around that. And there's some good areas, a couple little speakeasies here and there, the sneaky little places that are fun. But that's our first road trip. So of course you
the Tigers made playoffs too. So hopefully
after that, what do we got?
I think they'll still be going. The Tigers, if they can have a game or something, that'd be Nick Barnowski, Barnyard, who's a diehard Detroit everything, except for not the Red Wings anymore. Yeah,
we got to talk.
So
to him
we'll get him on. He's a great guy, just one of the best people ever. So let me fast forward, Skillsy. The 17th
for the Preds.
This is a big game. The Edmonton Oilers come to town, and they absolutely abused the Preds last year at home, especially. But they had their number. You know how sometimes you just that team, and that's the team that can do it, right? And they caught them early in the year, and they abused, and they're going to do it again, and they're going to be on a mission.
More abusive to the Preds.
So that's a big one, right?
How pissed off are they?
They almost got there.
Pissed off.
And McDavid said, like, I saw a thing. He's like, this is why I play. I'll never stop because I have to chase the Stanley Cup. Any great player, right? The best of the best. Those guys have to win. Like Sid, they're just he's obsessed with it. McDavid's like he's like a caged animal right now. Like he'll do anything to win.
Well, I did that 2008 with Pittsburgh. We made it to Game 6 of the final, and I it hurt. And it makes you want it. You know, some people say, "Oh, you came so close." You know, like at least you got that close. No, it makes you want it even more. And then when you do win, you want it even more after that. It's like it's like crack. You know, you need your fix. And so they're going to be pissed off. They're going to be hungry. I got that one circled in. Maybe they might be tired.
Wow,
maybe
that's a 5-hour flight almost.
A good thing for the Preds if they're a little tired.
Yeah, they're tired. 5-hour flight if that's the first game on the road trip or whatever. That's not easy. I'll tell you that. We'll talk about that during the year on our long trips out west or whatever. But and you got.
Look, hey, you know what? The next one coming up that's on my calendar. Boston is coming to town.
Of course.
Okay. So, of course, I being from the Boston area, I appreciate the mass hole invasion that happens in when the Patriots play, when the Bruins play, whenever Boston comes to town, it is awesome.
Any Skillsy jerseys?
Like,
you know what I love though? When Boston comes to town is when I go down and I do the post game with you. All I hear, yo, Skillsy, what's up? And you're like, hey guys, how you doing? Hey, and you're the mayor. But when Boston comes, there's a couple teams, a couple fan bases that loved you, but nothing like the Bruins fans when they come. Everyone that walks by, they're like, yo, Skillsy.
The mass holes come in and they're just tear up Broadway. It's like they've never been out of their house. And they come down and destroy Broadway and the honky tonk. So I'm looking forward to that. That's always fun. Next road trip, Chicago. Mace, I know you like
Honestly, one of the
Chicago.
best. First of all, quick flight. Uh, good
Yeah.
good gym, good setup, good, proximity to the areas that we like. Um, what's the thing? You sent me the text today. Oh, if you dinner, yeah, it
It is
is,
kinda windy.
it can be. It definitely can be. But, maple and ash,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what you sent me,
they
maple and
say that.
ash. Let's talk about a couple of those places because that's one where we're
Yeah.
like, "All right, we gotta." I miss Pippin's though. Be completely
Yeah.
honest, I missed that. It was a nice little, small, little, intimate, awesome place. That's, I think, COVID maybe
Yeah.
was the end of Pippin's, which is sad, but
Yeah.
Chicago's got a lot of great places. What are your faves?
I there's so many spots and shit, like, what the old Viagra triangle there,
Oh, they got a
Rush
lot.
Street
It's like
with just just a bunch of old guys with cougars everywhere. Gibson's Steakhouse, all
Tavern
the good old
Tavern there,
spots. What is it? Carmine's. There's
Dublin's.
so much going on there. Yeah, just
Yeah.
a bunch of great spots. But there's what is it? Rosebuds, the nice little Italian place.
Lex, there's a
Of course,
Lex,
his deep
we've
dish
been there a
pizza.
couple
Like,
times. I can't remember what the heck it's called. But if you go, my favorite spot is right around
there's
the
a
corner though, is, you go down to, like, the Lodge and Butch McGuire's.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
got
you like the
it's
old
got the,
Irish
well,
pubs. You
I
like
think
to
we
get
all
saddle
kinda
up in
feel at
those.
home there. It's got the, like, I think it's got almost the
Yeah,
Christmas lights, like, year round, but it's like a really
yeah,
small, like,
year
kinda
round.
place or whatever. We like that, but, I mean, you got options in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe, there's certain spots that we hit up and, but I think the best part about that is just walking around, getting
Yeah,
around in that city. It's gonna be it's fun.
yeah.
Always looking forward to it. And then here we go. We gotta move on to this one. How about Tampa? How awesome is that gonna be? The Stamkos return to Tampa. Obviously, Stamkos, a legend there. Like, that's gonna be a lot of fun to be around. I'm just gonna fast forward through Burns Steakhouse and
Hat
Jackson's
Tricks,
and the
is that the
Sale,
place?
one
The
of my
hockey
favorite
bar? The
spots.
hockey one that we go to?
W The Sale is one of my favorite spots, just that little spot on the water. No one's really paying
Oh, the
attention to a
gazebo. Oh,
little
yeah, we had some good
gazebo with
conversations
a
there,
couple
man. We got
beers.
into some
Yeah,
stuff. We
yeah,
found
that's
out
a
some
great
stuff in
spot.
that
Just,
place. We all kinda divulged personal information in that place, that's for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes you gotta let it
you gotta
go.
do it.
You gotta let it
You
all
gotta do
out,
it. It's
and
your
we did
travel,
a
it's your
couple times.
family, it's your team.
But the highlight is gonna be the Stamkos return. How fun.
Oh,
How fun
man.
is
You
that
know
gonna be?
what? It's crazy. He's such a nice guy, by the way. He's just, but he's one of those players, obviously first overall, everybody, one of the greatest goal scorers to ever play the game. He's one of those players that's like Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin. You think they're never gonna be on another team. They're gonna be at Tampa Bay Lightning from day one to the end of his career. He's gonna retire as a Lightning player, and for that to go down and, like,
Yeah.
I just know from having gone through it in a much, much smaller, way when I got traded from Nashville. That was the only team I'd ever played for. It was 6, 7 years, and then I got traded to St. Louis. It was the weirdest. It was almost like a not out of body, but it was just the weirdest thing coming back as a visitor. It's gonna be an emotional night for him. It's gonna be great. You've done it. You played on a bunch of different teams. You played, some teams that you
Yeah.
really feel, close to emotionally. It's gonna be another level for him, I think. I don't think he's gonna really know. He won't know until he actually steps in that building as a visitor.
Yeah. Now I had 9 years with, Boston. I grew up in Boston. I bled black and gold. I was
Yeah.
like Boston forever until they're like, "See you, beat it, kid. The Chara's coming in and you're
He's
gone."
taller than you. He's an
Okay,
inch
well,
taller.
now
Get
I'm
out of
done.
here.
I so we we have someone taller than you. Damn it. Uh, anyway, going to signing in Toronto, the simple fact that I had put on a black and gold jersey and sometimes that awful Pooh Bear jersey that they had for a while, which I hate to say I was not really proud of putting that one on. But putting on a Toronto blue, like it made my eyes go squirrely. It was like, whoa, this is so different. For for Stamkos, I'm imagining the same thing, right? You have that dark blue Tampa jersey, and then you just come in and you pop on this gold. It's got to be like, whoa! It just your eyes aren't used to seeing that. It's going to be it's got to be crazy for him. But yeah, I think you get used to being on a team, and certainly for him, he never thought of anything other than being, Tampa Bay Lightning. Yeah, like that was his team, and so it's got to be crazy. And then going back there, it's always weird when you go in and you're like, I don't. Sometimes you walk into an arena that you've been in a million times, and you have to go the other way, and you're like, no, I can't do it. Right? It's a bizarre feeling, and so he's gonna have to he's gonna go through that, and have to be in Tampa. Although Tampa is pretty straightforward. The locker rooms are right next to each other, so I'm sure he can handle it. But it's a different feeling, man. And I'm anxious to see
and just
how he
remember
feels
walking in and like everybody that you'd walk into the rink and you seeing the security guards and everybody and saying hi when you're on the team for years. Like it's routine. It's like every game. All right, I'm going to see, everybody on the way to the room, hey, how you doing? High fives, this and that. And all of a sudden you come in as a visitor at a different time. You're at the hotel, you're not in the house that he's lived in for the last 17 years or whatever. It's going to be, it was just the weirdest thing. It's hard to explain. And, you see it every time guys come back. When Shea Weber came back to Nashville, when Ryan McDonough went back to Tampa, and this is like times 10, from anybody really with Stamkos. It's been his whole life. And I think that first game back, after the first game, it's still a little weird, but nothing like that first time back. I'm sure you had that when you went back to Boston for the very first time anyway.
Yeah. It's a weird feeling. And it's, you don't see guys stay that long anymore, like even with the big, long contracts, it's just, usually something wears out and you got to change a pace at some point. But especially the success that Stammer had,
scored
like
40 goals last year.
Cups there. Wasn't like he was just hanging out.
A pay cut. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, Skillsy, let's wrap this up here. We're going to do the last thing here. We're just, this is a good one. We had a good start here, I think. And fans, email, message on social media if you have any suggestions and guests and things you want us to talk about. Please do that. We want feedback.
Yeah, we're all Bagchuckers in this. So if you have something that's on your mind, I have a lot to say, and I think you do too, Mace. I think we can tackle a lot of issues. So don't hold back. If you got something you want to talk about, let's get it off our chests. This is a good forum.
And I'll wrap this up just because of all the other podcasts I listen to. I don't actually know where we're going to be on yet, but thank you for listening. No, I don't. I'm trying to learn. I had a summer of learning, and we'll get into all that kind of stuff. And the technical side of things, I'm really new to, but
I don't care, brother. I'll follow you anywhere.
The depths of hell, Skillsy. I'll be by your side.
Just take me there. Just take me there.
Bagchuckers,
take me there.
Don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review. As Skillsy said, email, message us on social media. That'd probably be the best way to get a hold of us. We want to make this fun and enjoyable for everybody. So follow us and do all the things for all things Bagchucker. We love you guys. You're the reason why we're doing it. So please follow along on our crazy journey. It's nuts, and we're letting you all in. So I hope you enjoy. And if you don't, I apologize. But we bees who we bees. We are who we are.
Amen. Cheers.